Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of I'm Just Saying with your host, Weedy, and your co host, Charity. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today's episode, we're going to hit a little bit on vaccinations and vaccines. So be sure to comment, like, and subscribe and let us know what you think. And also, you can hit that notification bell and it'll let you know when we upload a new video.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I did take the vaccine months later, and I was afraid at first, because I have a condition that they had mentioned that maybe I shouldn't have taken the shot because of that, or I should be aware, shall I say, because of my condition. Um, it, it's a possibility that I would have had a choice maybe not to, you know, uh, take it or not. But I chose to um, because there was so much in the news about it. And then you look at China and things like that, people falling just straight over in the street, right on their face. That stuff right there kind of scared you. So um, me and myself, my wife, she took it. Um, it didn't affect me much at all. Maybe I'm just one of the lucky ones, maybe. uh, she compared to the ones who weren't too lucky. Because I'm pretty sure you heard, most of the stories out there. But the main thing in this podcast today we're going to talk about is, I mean, is it should you take it regardless of a second condition that you have? Maybe a health condition. Should you not? Or just from religious reasons. I know one thing that I've been hearing in the news that the armed forces are being released because they wouldn't take the shot, and we need these strong men and women in our military, to protect us, abroad and here, and we need them healthy. But if they have a religious exemption, as some of them, stated, or just I just don't want to take it. Some of them said, hey,
I think when this everything first came about, I think that what confused me at first is that I was thinking that if you did get it, then you would not be able to be affected. Well, that you wouldn't be able to get it. So I was like, okay, well, if you're not
mhm,
able to get the virus, that's one thing. But at one point I was thinking, well, what is the point? I think a lot of people are confused because it's a lot of people that's like, okay, well, if you haven't been, vaccinated, you can't come in the store and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, the vaccination just keeps you from being super sick and
yeah,
possibly, you know, it being, you know, it turns out for the worst.
right.
So it wasn't that you had to have the vaccine to keep from spreading it. It was that you wouldn't be so sick. So I think I was a little confused with that part at first. Now, I'm actually one of the luckier people. I did contract it and I didn't have any symptoms at all. But everybody's body is different. It depends on what you have going on or whatever. So I'm under the impression like the first wave was the worst one, right? Or am I mistaken or no?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
so the first wave was the worst one. So I figure if I didn't have any symptoms after that one, then what is the point of me taking it? Because I know people that have taken the vaccine plus the 4 boosters and still end up getting, so I'm like, well, what is the purpose of that? But I
Right.
mean, I understand that, if it keeps you from being sicker and possibly passing from it, I mean, I can understand that because, like I said, everybody has different reasons why they should take it. Most people were taking it out of fear because, I felt like they were telling us all the numbers of the people that weren't making it. But I mean, it's like every day you're not telling us who's okay. Well, this many people didn't die or whatever, but you're telling us how many people didn't make it every day. So yeah, that's gonna scare us.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. So, and it was about 1 million. So, I mean, I think that's the misconception that people had when it first started off, that hey, you can take this vaccination and you won't, it won't kill you or nothing like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When a lot of people like, hey, you have to have your mask to come in the store. You have to have your mask to come in the store. I was thinking that is to keep you from spreading it around to other people, which could be the case if you have and don't know it. Like me, you
Yeah.
know, if I wouldn't have gotten tested, I wouldn't have known I even had it. So, I mean, I can understand on that part, but I worked at this place where the lady was like, some guys were going to deliver, and she was like, "Have they been vaccinated or whatever?" So I'm like, it doesn't keep you from getting it; it just keeps you from being so sick from it. So that's my thing.
Well, my opinion overall on this thing, well, I'll say like this. Only part I hated about this whole deal was that you shouldn't have to make somebody take something that they don't want to take.
Right,
If,
because our body, our choice, right?
yeah, there we go again with all that.
Right.
But I do agree with that. My body and choice part. Yes, I do. Um, a government should not do that. I mean, you remember the story years ago? I forget, so excuse my history. What was it? The Tuskegee experiments?
Did you say
Um,
a few years ago?
no, way back.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, Tuskegee.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. They had a movie called Tuskegee Airmen.
Well, that was the airman one, but they had one that was called the experiments when they experiment on these black males.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think it was chlamydia. I think they gave them or something like that. It was something that they gave them and testing on them, and that kind of shook a lot of people from that point on all the way on up. I mean, you testing on folks, with all this mess, and to say that this stuff wasn't even actually really just tested thoroughly, because it normally takes years, what I'm saying, before they even put it out here on the market. But since it was, an emergency, I do understand that, and if you thought that you had a breakthrough, then, okay, fine. But then you still have to let people have a choice to take it or not. Because the government could have said, well, you know what, if you don't take it, it's a possibility that you might not live, through it. But you still can't
Yeah,
make
but
anybody do it.
they started to make it to where you didn't have a choice but to do it, instead of saying, because they were saying, hey, it's your choice if you want to take it or not, but they were limiting everything. Well, you can't be employed if you don't take it, or you can't
Yeah,
do this if you don't take it, or you can't, everybody needs to be employed.
that's
So,
crazy. That's crazy. You're gonna lose your job if you don't get your shot. You can't be in the army or
but
the
it's up
Air
to
Force.
you.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, you gotta live. They shut everything down, remember? And people will start working from home. And for some reason, our job stayed open. And I was like, why is insulation still open? This is not important. They were like, well, we're up under the umbrella of DHL and they do delivery. So it's transportation. But I'm like, yeah, but we are, you missing the point? We are insulation. You see what I'm saying? We're insulation. What that got to do with anything? What, we going to deliver insulation to some homes that's being built? No homes are being built right now because everybody's in the home. Everybody's at home. Okay? So you can't work on homes and stuff like that and build. So in buildings and things like that. Well, there's no well to that. So I'm wondering why I'm still going to work while everybody at the house chilling out, getting $1,500 worth of stamps every other week and getting checks every other week, or if you're getting paid weekly or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm still at my job and can contract it because I have a health condition. You know, and I really wasn't supposed to have been out there if that's the case. You know, but I guess I could have disputed that. But you know what? I wanted my job though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, this how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my job, and I didn't want to stir up anything, so I just stayed on. Then we had two people contract COVID at the job, so I'm like, okay, man. I mean, come on, really? So I let that pass. I never did catch it, and this was before my shot. Okay. So as time went on, and then that's when they really started talking about, man, if you don't get a shot, man, you ain't gonna have no job, and all the rest of that stuff, and people falling off dead. And I said, you know what, let me go and get this shot. At the end of the day, because when the news media scare you like that, I mean, what you gonna do? You know, hurry and go get it. You might not wake up tomorrow morning. I mean, really? So, um, I still just don't like the idea of they tried to make us take it. I don't like those two words, vaccine mandate. That's crazy. It shouldn't have never happened. It shouldn't have never been out there.
Well, some people were getting offended because people didn't want to take it.
Mm,
They were
mm.
getting mad because you didn't want to take the vaccine.
Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to put on a mask and this and all that, blah, blah. Because here in Texas, I do know we were one of the states that said, hey, we're done with that. No more mask. Ended it. Now you can walk into certain stores and they'll still want, because they did leave that in there where, what's the word? Discretion.
Mm-hmm.
So they, it was some stores that still had the mask thing and a lot of them didn't. But I did like that because I'm one that's like this. Look, don't make me do this and don't make me do that. Because being in that mask, man, it does kind of mess with your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you, like at my job, we had to keep that thing on, for 12 hours straight. Well, minus an hour, between the breaks and lunch. So
Mm-hmm.
11 hours, man, you know what I'm saying? In a 100-degree warehouse, you know. So it kind of messed with your breathing, and then I'm a, smoker too,
Yeah.
so that kind of, made it difficult, which they don't care about that, of course. But um, I just, it's just such a bad thing, that it happened in the first place. It shouldn't have happened in the first place, but it did. And like I said, I don't like it. I really didn't like it because still to this day there are being military men and women being released right now because they don't want to take it, and for whatever reason that they don't want to take it, it's their right not to take it. And I mean, I'm just shocked because I'm a military lover. I love it. My uncle's father, they all served. You know, and I salute them all, you know. But to lose their careers with some that's been there, 10, 15, and 20 years, and have planned to retire, and now they're going to lose benefits possibility. You know what I'm saying? So, and now they're talking about, oh, we need more men and women in the service. Well, you had them. You had them. Don't start complaining now. So, but anyway, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. So, I guess the
So what do you
go
so what
ahead.
do you think about I I don't know if I read, I heard, I think I saw something on it. I'm not knowing if it's true or not. I'm just, you know, repeating what I heard. That they were saying that the hospitals, even though people were not dying because of it, they were saying that they were, so that
Oh,
they can get paid more. What do you think about that? You think that? Do you think, how's that even possible though? I mean, I know, how is that even legal?
it's
Just so
not.
you can make it seem like more people are succumbing to it than it really is.
Well, hospitals weren't making any money because people wasn't not working. So they just coming in sick, can't pay the bill. So how else are they supposed to make some money? Now, I'm not saying that this is this is what happened, But it's like it could have. It's a possibility, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it did, but you got to look at it. If you're coming into my restaurant and it's a mask mandate, and I get 50 people to try to come in and they get turned around because they don't have no mask, I'm losing money. See, so the ones with the mask, what am I going to do? Charge an extra 50 cents per person because of the people that's not coming in. I mean, it's a possibility, that people raise stuff up like that just because.
Yeah, and it's a crazy time. It's crazy times because out of nowhere, everybody started selling hand sanitizer. People were making hand sanitizer.
I sold,
Gloves and masks. Oh my God. You were about to pay for those.
I sold some too. So did.
but But
So
yeah,
did.
and it was hand sanitizer was so expensive. It got to the point where, like if I would go to the beauty supply store or something and you buy a lot of stuff, they would give you hand sanitizer. Like, here you go. I'm like, wow, hand sanitizer, really? They giving it out like little gifts. Here you go.
What a
I'm
gift.
like, thanks. But I don't know. I think they were making their own because it did not smell good at all.
Yeah,
And
is
I
he?
put some on my hand and I didn't realize. I was like, what is that smell? And it
Yeah,
was the hand sanitizer. So yeah, it's gross. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, so many people made money from hand sanitizer because before then, I swear the only hand sanitizer I knew was like Purell. And what's the other one?
yeah. They got a
What was
like
the
about
other
50
one? It's
names.
Purell and something else.
They
Jarmex.
got about 50 name brands out there, and they always getting
It's
money.
so many. You could not find any alcohol, any
Yep,
Clorox, any Lysol, anything that
Lysol.
killed germs. Nothing.
Yep,
It
sure right.
it was crazy. Groceries. Remember that you go into the store, there
Yeah,
were no groceries on the shelf.
no tissue to wipe your. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! And they were buying it by the. It was no paper towels, tissue. That stuff was a commodity because it was hard to come
Yes.
by. It
Well,
was hard.
I
That's
surely
why I
do.
try to. If I can catch meat on sale, I'll buy it and put it in my deep freezer.
Sure better. Oh,
Mhm.
that's another thing, y'all. We had y'all president said on TV there's going to be a food shortage, and he said this thing like twice. So y'all, here's another tip: go buy you some dry foods, beans, rice, noodles. We all eat that. I mean, you might not eat beans and rice all the time, but I bet you'll eat it if ain't nothing else on the shelves or at your house. So, and and chicken leg quarters. Y'all know we don't like to buy that mess. Only time we buy that is when we're gonna have a barbecue and we got some folks coming over so we can serve them the chicken leg quarters
Yeah,
instead of
you cut it in half, make it seem like you got a lot of chicken.
the the thigh and the leg, boy. That's the first thing to go. So make sure y'all go out there, man. I'm not saying storm the stores and all that stuff, but um, he's saying that this war is gonna last a long time. That's in with Russia and all that stuff in Ukraine, and there's going to be a food shortage. And he said that like almost 2 months ago, and somebody was like, "Man, that ain't gonna happen, man. If it ain't happened by now, boy." This is the president of the United States, come on national TV and tell you to your face it's going to be a food shortage, and then he come on again. Well, there's definitely going to be shortage of food because, for one thing, Russia has the most wheat grain in their country that they distribute out to the other countries out here. Number one, okay? We talking about flour, cereal, anything that's made with wheat. See, so go out there and get you some flour so you can fry your chicken, if you want to. Grease, well, oil, stuff like that. Get that too. Just go and get you some lard. That shit lasts forever. You can fry everything in that shit.
Using lard, you won't have to worry about no vaccination. That's gonna take you out.
Well, I mean, hey, I'd rather have some lard in there, man, than to be without.
You just gonna
Because,
have to bake it.
but see, a lot of people don't like, you know, bacon all the time. I mean, you want to fry some stuff like me. I like my stuff fried. So best believe I got some oil in there, a lot of it,
Mm.
and flour. I got like about 5 to 6 bags of flour up in there. Sugar, whole bunch of beans, rice, and noodles. So we starting on the noodles this week. We're gonna go buy a whole bunch of them so we can have that stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you, when that stuff don't be on them shelves no more, man. Don't say, man. I wonder why they ain't say nothing about this. Because you're too busy out there riding around in the street, burning up the gas that you can't afford anyway. I'm talking to the young people because the old folks at home, like me. Um, y'all see where I'm at. So that's just a tip, y'all. And if you want to find that footage, go on YouTube or Google it. Biden said food shortage, or just punch in food shortage, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then you know I'm not lying. So go check that out, y'all. If y'all want to eat, what eat, what eat, shit,
Get it together.
what eat, shit, boy.
Well, okay, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So, this was only our opinions. Of course, you can do, whatever you want to do. You don't need us to tell you that, but you
Right.
know, but just let us know what you think below with a comment, and make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can know when we have another video. And
Go get your shot.
choose to make it a great day.
Peace.
Peace.